Hey guys, I got this Pyraminx at my last competition from Nathan Dwyer, and I need to modify it. I haven't gotten around to modifying it yet, so I thought I would just film the process, and if the footage was workable, I would make a video about it. So for those of you who don't know, I and a lot of the best Pyraminxers will modify their Pyraminxes with a fluorine mod like this, which helps the reverse corner cutting a lot, and it just makes it lock up less compared to that. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble this, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. Alright, so I fully disassembled it, and I'm not sure if the hardware has been lubed yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's, as far as I'm concerned, the only part of lubrication in the Pyraminx that really matters is the hardware. Other than that, lubrication is not that big a deal, so I'm going to go ahead and get some lube for that. So I'm just going to lube the hardware here exactly as you would expect. I'm not particularly picky about how I lubricate stuff, so I don't have any particularly special methods. I just kind of put some lube in there. Now all you need for the mod is just a piece of sandpaper, or several pieces. I'm hoping this one will last me because I've already used it to mod one Pyraminx, and this is my last piece at the moment, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by modifying the edges, and I'm just going to take off these little wings here, which stop the corner cutting, the reverse corner cutting quite a lot. So as you can see, this one is modified, and it's just kind of flat as opposed to this, which comes up at a sharp angle. I'm also going to remove some of this extra plastic right here, because mostly just because it looks ugly. I don't think it does anything. So how I usually do this is I just set the sandpaper on the edge of the table, and I take the point that I want to sand off and just set it on the sandpaper and slide it back and forth. Try to keep it equally rounded, and you know, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, this one is looking pretty good. So you can see I have that half done. So now we'll just do the other side. Okay, so now I've also done this side, and they're both looking pretty good. I'll compare it again to the edge that's already modified. And so yeah, that's pretty good. I also did take off the little extra piece of plastic that was on this part right here. I just cut it off with a knife. So that's it for the edge pieces. That's all the modifying you have to do. So then obviously I'm going to do it to the rest of them, but I don't need to record that, so we'll talk about the centers next. Okay, so once again we have two pieces. This one's modified, the white one, and then the black one is not modified. And it's a little bit harder to see the difference here, but on this, the modified one, the edge here kind of slopes downward, whereas on the unmodified one, it kind of actually goes upward into a point. So I'm just going to smooth this part off with the sandpaper, and this part takes a lot longer, but it does a lot more to help. If you're going to do one or the other, you want to do the centers. So let's go ahead and get started. I use the same strategy for modifying these pieces. I put the sandpaper on the edge of the table and just slide the piece back and forth. It is important not to over modify the centers, because if you do, it'll turn kind of locky and weird, the Pyraminx will. I don't really have a specific point that I stop at. I just kind of keep sanding until it looks right, and I try to match it with the piece that's already modified. Alright, so I'm done modifying this section right here of this piece. As you can see, this one stays flat, whereas this one slopes downward nicely. Another thing you want to watch for is to make sure that there's no remaining sign of this dip right here. It's very hard to point to, my fingers are too big. Here, I'll use this. There's kind of a dip right here, and you want to make sure there's no remaining sign of that dip. As you can see here, there's no kind of dip. That's kind of a marker of about when you're done. So yep, this piece is 1/3 of the way modified, and I'll go ahead and finish it up. Okay, all 3 sections of this piece are done, so that means I am done with the centerpiece, and I can move on to modifying the other ones. So the mod is now finished, and I have assembled the puzzle, and it's turning quite well now. The reverse corner cutting is much better than before. And yeah, it's really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick solve for you here. Okay. Alright, so that's how you modify your Pyraminx, and thanks for watching.